Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Notes podcast. This is Dan here at Big Cass. Big Cass, Ohio State returns from the bye week finally. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed the bye week. Some people call it the Get Better week. It's the bye week. I did a lot of sleeping, rest, but they take on Marshall. Marshall is an interesting team. They're a step above the two other teams Ohio State has played. Could Marshall give Ohio State any fits this week, Cass?
Point spread keeps going up, so I don't think so, but you never know. You never know. It's hard. It's hard to judge. They got smoked by Virginia Tech.
I wouldn't
So
say smoked. It was just Virginia Tech was definitely better. It's just
Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people like Virginia Tech in the ACC this year. Drones is an interesting player. He hasn't lived up to the hype this year for Virginia Tech, but he's a good quarterback, if that makes sense. He's going to definitely improve, and his best football's ahead of him. But rewatching kind of the Marshall game against Virginia Tech, the couple of notes I had were um Marshall Marshall's front seven on defense is really solid. They fly to the ball, they make good tackles, they wrap up. On defense though, they do give up a lot of big plays and coverage. Their cornerbacks sometimes not fall asleep, but there will be guys can get behind them easily. A lot of guys on Virginia Tech, there was many instances where they blew coverages and receivers were running free. I think Ohio State will eat there. I think also Will Howard. He's not Kyron Drones in the aspect that Drones is more speed. Will Howard's more power. I think Marshall's defense is more fast than powerful. I feel like they're not huge. They're more powerful, more speed predicated than power. So I like Ohio State's advantage there. And then just on Marshall's offensive side, they do not pass block well at all. Uh, they
No.
they are not good at pass blocking. Those are just some of the key takeaways I took away. I'm sure you have some notes too.
Yeah, the only thing I think though is our D like that's one thing I was going to say was our defensive line should cook in this game.
Yeah.
Um, should have a 5+ sacks again. Looking for JTT to have a big game. He's been kind of quiet since I mean, he had a couple good plays against Akron, but he was very quiet against Western Michigan. I look for Jack Sawyer to continue to be good. I just it could be another instance. They got a couple guys on the outside that are not bad, but they just can't protect the quarterback. And the DBs are so good at Ohio State that the pass rush is going to get there. Like that offensive line is not very good. I don't see this offense moving the ball very at all, if any, against
Well,
Ohio State.
I do. To date, this is the best offense Ohio State has faced, believe it or not, because Akron and Western Michigan are just not good offenses. They like this team has to be the best offense because they scored a what 17 against Virginia Tech, and then
14 or something like that. Yeah.
in the 40s against Stony Brook. Akron and Western Michigan haven't sniffed those heights. I feel like all season, so they're definitely the best offense. Their running backs are sick. Their one running back, he had a monster run. He's actually run for 100 yards in two straight games. AJ Turner, he might be an NFL draft pick one day. Um, he has 220 yards in the year, a touchdown. He's very explosive. They also have a power back, Ethan Payne. He had a touchdown on the goal line. He's more like a power back, the bigger back. But AJ Turner, he's the explosive guy. Um, Marshall brings Stone Earl at quarterback. He does not have a good completion percentage on the year, 44%, but three touchdowns, one pick. Marshall does have some solid receivers though on the outside. They do run the air raid. Christian Fitzpatrick is their leading receiver this year with 170 yards, two touchdowns. Cass. He had an absolutely sick grab in the Virginia Tech game. He
Yeah.
dealt it. Elijah Metcalf, he is also a very good receiver. He had two touchdowns in their first game against Stony Brook. He transfers in from Middle Tennessee State University. They also have Carl Chester, Braylon Brown. They make an impact. Um, but and I'll let you take over in 1 second. My last point is
No.
I think our defense also should feast. I think it's going to be the DBs because Marshall's on the forums. They complain that the quarterbacks are throwing too many interceptions. That's been apparently a problem for the past couple seasons. I think with the D line getting the pressure with the no pass blocking, they're going to make some errant throws, and I think we're going to have at least one or two interceptions on Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're going to turn the ball over. I think that's going to be a point of it. I think that's going to be a point of emphasis because Jim Knowles and this defense, we didn't turn the ball over. We didn't turn Western Michigan over at all, and I'll grant it, we only allowed 5 yards total offense in the second half. So I'd rather take, it's like you win some, you lose some
Yeah.
situation right there. I, I just don't see enough out of Marshall. Yes, they're a better offense than Akron. I think they're a better offense than Western Michigan. However, but Marshall didn't play last week either. So I think that with Ohio State, I think they were kind of angry that they didn't get to play last week. So because they went for a month and a half straight of practicing against each other, hitting each other to play in 2 games, and then had to hit each other again. I think they're just ready to hit somebody again and get after it. I think offensively, the D line for Marshall, but outside of that, I really like our receivers. I really like the RPO game. I think I think Will Howard should have another strong game. I think it's more and more as we get going throughout the year, the offense is going to start opening up a little bit more. I think you're going to see some wrinkles this week that we haven't seen yet, just to throw it on film, just to get Michigan State. Because if you notice, we
Yeah.
did more. We did some 4 tight end sets against Western Michigan. This week, you never know. We do single tight end sets with 4 wide receivers. I
Oh,
mean, there's going to be some different things that we're going to see.
bro, and this might be I'm not sure this if you have the answer to this, but have we run a single jet sweep or bubble screen this season? Because I feel like that's coming this game.
If we have, it's been very rare.
I feel like that's
I
gonna
don't think we ran a jet sweep. No.
I feel like that's gonna be on the film for sure. Maybe an onside kick. I know you were freaking out. Everyone was freaking out when Tennessee did the onside kick, but that's just to like build a tendency to get it on film. People aren't realizing. Yes, it is a cocky move, and I totally see it from that perspective. I also think they were doing that to get that on film. I don't think they meant it in a way, and so that's my thoughts on. But anyway, back to Ohio State. I think like there's no one on Marshall that's going to cover Jeremiah Smith. There's not a soul. There's not a soul that's going to
Yeah.
stop Judkins. There's not like my biggest concern is one, do we kind of is it a slow start, which is just some stupid mental mistakes, some penalties because we had to buy and it's a noon game, and then number two, how does the offensive line look with Donovan Jackson back? Those are my two concerns, and I'm not concerned that we're getting Donovan Jackson back. That's great. I'm just concerned how we're gonna look now. Because last week we looked pretty cohesive. I was very impressed. So I'm curious how our line will look now that we have all our pieces together.
I That's the interesting thing too. That I know they're going to say he's full go. He could have played against Western Michigan, and I just think that we're going to see um, Donovan Jackson. Will we see him on a pitch count? That's the question too. I don't. They say we're not going to, but I think all in
I
all,
agree. We'll see him on the pitch count.
I think we will too. But I think all in all, Austin Cervella has earned his right to play. But
Yeah, no, I agree.
I also think Ohio State's going to do something this week that we're going to be like, wow. Like, I think they're going to do, I think we're going to, like I said, open up the offense. I think you're going to see a little bit more of Chip Kelly's style. What's he going to do? Could we see more Peoples in the second half? Will Travion have his big game? Like, Travion, he's been kind of overshadowed. Like, will he have his 100-yard game? Will Emeka Buka, the thing with Emeka and Travion, they don't need to have their breakout games so far this year. We know what they can do. Will Carnell Tate be a big mix in the offense?
Mhm.
I this is going to be interesting offense of what this week because I do think the D line for Marshall will disguise some stuff, and you know the coach down there he wants Tudor's Biscuit World. I mean he's talking
Amazing.
about bringing some Tudor's Biscuit World NIL deals for Ohio State players.
So real quick, for anyone who hasn't had Tudor's Biscuit World, it is one of the best.
Amazing.
It's one of the best breakfast chains in the United States. They're rare. You got to go down to West Virginia. There's one in Xenia, Ohio, and they're just amazing. So, I know Jaden Ballard's looking at the transfer portal next year with that deal. When inevitably he transfers or whoever else from Ohio State, that's a great deal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I really expect this offense. I really expect this offense to be really good this week. And I'm excited to see what the Buckeyes do. I really am. I'm excited for them to get back on the game field and, win some games.
Danny Cannell said, and the spread is, I think he said it was 38.5. Danny Cannell saying he's basically taking out the fact that Florida State's 0-3 and Ohio State hasn't played anyone. Now, this is no fault to Ohio State because we did schedule Washington this year, and then because of conference realignment, we lost a Washington game. So I don't want to hear it, Danny. Take your frustrations out on someone else just because your team is 0-3. Don't hate on the Buckeyes. But do you think Marshall could keep this interesting at all? I mean, the spread's 38.5. At the team I saw last 2 weeks ago, Western Michigan, thought it was close to a perfect game they played. I mean, Doug,
Yeah,
like, how does Marshall keep this close?
sneaking Tudor's Biscuit World in Ohio State's locker room and putting some NyQuil in it. I really don't know. I just this team is so different than any other Ryan Day team. They've got that mentality of, you know, we're going to be the hardest working team in the country. We're going to be, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I do think Marshall holds Ohio State to the lowest scoring, to the lowest score this week, though.
Interesting.
Not by much, though.
So,
What do we score? 56 and 52.
so could you see like a 45? Trying to think.
So
42,
what's the spread? The spread's 38.
48. I could see a 42-3. And us not covering. And
48, 48-3. I think this defense wants to continue to allow no touchdowns.
I definitely think Marshall will I think they'll get a touchdown. I'm gonna say 49-7 is my final score. We will cover.
Still cover.
Marshall will get a touchdown though, and they might force a turnover early. I could see them going up like 7-0, and then we just go nuclear, something like that. But then everyone
Kind of like Marshall went up 3-0.
Akron, yeah, like, and everyone gets a screen grab because Ohio State was down to Marshall for two minutes of the game. I mean, I don't know. That's probably what's gonna happen.
So what was your score?
49-7.
I'm making a graphic now. Good thing it's not the Buckeye Leaf graphic this week.
No, that was a struggle. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. We spelled the names right though. We did it. We did it.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
We did it.
I think I'm going 48-3 Ohio State. You said 49-7?
Yeah. I think. I mean, I don't see this team stopping the offense. I
No,
thought
I don't either.
Western Michigan's defensive line was a lot stronger than Marshall's. Just kind of eyeballing them on tape. Secondaries are about the same. I don't think Ohio State will not fail to run the ball. I would be shocked if we struggle running the ball. And then regardless, there's just screw it. Jeremiah's out there somewhere. Just yeet it to him. They'll come down with it. I'm more concerned maybe we'll get a dumb holding call or like illegal hands to the face, a chop block that like kills a drive. That's something that I'm more concerned about this week. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I can see that too. I really did. It's something stupid. Like some stupid penalty
Josh
a
Fry tripping.
like or Davis and Igbinosun pass interference in the fourth quarter.
To be fair, you know what? Igbinosun gets called for PI, but a lot of times it's very questionable. A lot of times it's just good coverage.
Davis and Igbinosun gets called for a PI for in the third quarter when we're up big, but in the first quarter he had the same type of play and he didn't get penalized for it. Oh wait, that's the wrong sport, wrong refs. My bad.
I could see I could see us getting a targeting call. We're due. I could see like Arvell Reese getting called for targeting.
We got one. We got one against Western Michigan.
Yeah, I could see another one. I see another one. I sense another one.
I sense another one. I was trying to make a Anthony dude from the Bengals get like Cam Taylor Britt commits a foul but doesn't get called for it. But in the fourth quarter, Anthony commits the same foul and gets called for it. Yeah, if you watch the Bengals game, you understand.
Yep. Oh, sorry about the Bengals, but Cass, any
Marvin Harrison cooked.
I don't want to talk about it because I was up big in fantasy and I'm happy for Marv, but that was mean, man. That you didn't have to do that to me this week. You should have done that week 1. You shouldn't have done it week 2. Well, that was mean. That was cruel. I was up big too.
Oh yeah. So, we forgot our segment. I knew you were about to say it before I brought up Marvin Harrison. So, our 3 bold predictions for the game. I kind of already said. Go ahead. Go.
I think Caleb Downs gets his first Ohio State interception.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
I see some pressure from the D line and a bad ball over the middle that misses his receiver high. Downs will be right there, and he might get a good return too.
I think. So we're going defense. Okay, you went defense. I'll go defense too. I think that Sonny Styles will get a defensive touchdown.
Oh, that's a big one.
Actually, no, I'll take that back. Sonny Styles will lead the team in tackles this week.
I like it.
Okay.
I have
offense.
On offense, I'm gonna say G. Scott at least 3 receptions. Our tight ends are due for a big day.
Travion Henderson will lead the team in rushing yards.
This is a negative one. Will Howard commits his first turnover of the
year. Ugh.
He's due. I mean, it's the 3rd game.
I'd rather have it this week than next. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather have him just it could be like a fumble, like a bad pitch, a lazy pick. I think he's due this week. It might be early too. So I hate to be negative.
I'm not going negative, but I'm going right into special teams, and I'm going to say it right now. And I've said it every week, and I'm going to keep saying it until it happens.
I wanted to say it too. I know what you're going to say.
Brandon Ennis will score a punt return for a touchdown.
What's funny is that Marshall gave up a punt return to Virginia Tech, and it was the easiest punt return touchdown of all time. The guy caught it. He broke 2 tackles, ran straight in a line. No one was there. He broke one more tackle and scored like a 50-yard punt return touchdown. So Brandon Ennis could definitely do that type of punt return because he's fearless. I don't know, man. I thought we were due last game, so
I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it.
I love it. Just manifest it.
Just keep saying it until it happens.
No, it makes sense. We got picks, our weekly picks.
I cooked.
You cooked. The floor is yours. The man went undefeated.
Ah,
1-4.
and I didn't feel good about my picks, to be honest with you.
The only pick we felt great about collectively was
Notre Dame.
I love
how bad is Purdue?
They're so bad. I don't know why I don't know why that spread was 7.5. That was all right. I lost this week. Cass dominated me. I am now 4 games below 500. Cass is just in another stratosphere. And I'm I think 6 games behind you total now. So you're running away with it. But I did hit the parlay, a big parlay. It was Memphis money line over Florida State. It was Notre Dame and Purdue, Notre Dame money line. And then the last one, it was another favorite. It was like an obvious one. It was Missouri over Boston College. And won like it was like $7 and I won 50. So I'll take it.
So this week is non-SEC heavy, except for one game.
It's a good week. It's not bad. Honestly,
we have 1, 2, 3, 4 solid games, and then 4 ranked on ranked.
I always appreciate it when they put effort into the Friday night slate too. They did a really.
I love the Big Ten Friday night Fox game. I really do, and that's what we're going to start with.
I love the Syracuse Stanford game. I think that's gonna be fun and late night.
We're gonna put that Syracuse Stanford game on our list this week. That's the number 5 game.
Deal. All right.
So Illinois is a 7.5 dog at Nebraska. Who would have thought? I texted you this. Who would have thought that Illinois Nebraska at the beginning of the year would be a ranked opponent? I didn't. But however, I do like the Huskers to cover that 7.5.
I'm gonna take the points on the road, and this isn't me just trying to like make up for it. I just think Nebraska's gotten a little too high and a little too mighty too quick. They're due for a humbling loss. They're like, we're back. Illinois has been playing some really good ball this year. Like for real. They're not bad at all, man. And what they did to Kansas really impressed me. They also have the win over Central Michigan, Eastern Illinois. So I think they have an identity. I'm gonna go with the Illinois.
All right. You're writing these down, right?
Yes.
Or I could just text you real quick. So I have Nebraska.
Yeah, just text me each pick and then I know my pick. Next one.
Was it Syracuse and
Stanford, baby.
What's this point spread?
Syracuse is an 8.5 point favorite, and it's at home on a Friday. I like Cuse, man. I think they're nasty. Stanford's offense is terrible. They're 123rd in the country. Syracuse is 16th.
Give me the fighting Kyle McCords.
And defense, Stanford is 115th, and Syracuse is 195. They're not good on defense, but just McCord's gonna shred, I think.
Stanford. Yeah, I like the Orangeman. I like the fighting Kyle McCords.
Absolutely.
We both probably agree on this one. USC at the Big House, 3:30 on CBS. USC's 5.5-point favorite. Alex Orgy is getting the start. Great joke, by the way, Dan, on Twitter.
Thank
That
you.
was that was
Not
I
the
was
first time that the Trojans have seen an orgy.
but I like USC to cover.
Yeah,
Michigan's bad.
I like Michigan here because I think Orgy gives them more on offense. They're gonna do at least they're gonna try to run the ball. They're gonna commit to the run. They're gonna commit to the triple option or the option, whatever stupid. And Orgy, look, I'm not saying Orgy's a
I
good
do
passer.
want to I do want to see Miller Moss versus Will Johnson.
That too. Also, I think Davis Warren was the worst football quarterback, the worst passer I've ever seen play collegiate football. He makes Artur Zibkowski. Remember that guy on Rutgers? He made him look like decent. So this is under the premise that Orgy has a functioning shoulder and can, like, if he wanted to, he could throw. I'm not saying he's gonna be accurate. So I think Michigan covers. I'm gonna take the home dog. And also maybe USC's defense just is not legit. Maybe they come back to earth and maybe Orgy shreds them. No one's ever said that.
This one's a pick'em game. It's Oklahoma State's favored by 1 against Utah. It has to be a pick'em game, isn't it? It's a 1 point.
1 point spread. I like Utah, man.
I do too.
They're cooking.
I guess I'll put Utah -1.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a spread, -1.
And then the last one, the Josh Heupel Bowl, Oklahoma, Tennessee, primetime game. Tennessee's offense is cooking. Oklahoma's defense is pretty good, but Oklahoma has no offense. But something tells me, oh wait, Tennessee's favored by 7. I thought the spread was larger than that.
It's Tennessee. Tennessee is second in offense and they're fifth in defense. They are legit. I want to be like, oh, it's a night game in Norman and stuff. No, this is the game where Nico shreds him and he becomes the Heisman front runner in honor of Joe Milton.
I just think Tennessee. I thought the spread was bigger. I thought it was going to be like a couple touchdowns.
No, it's 7. I mean,
because I was going to take Oklahoma with the points because Oklahoma's defense is pretty good. However, 7's still a low amount of points for Nico.
It's a touchdown.
And the hype and Josh Heupel's offense. I do see, not this week, but in a few weeks, Tennessee coming back down to earth, though. I really do.
I think if they win this one, they've launched. They're going to make the playoff. If they this is honestly.
Oh, I think they're making the playoff, but I want to see them against a real defense. They haven't played nobody either. They haven't played. NC State's not that good.
I agree there. NC State's not good. Kent State's not good. And who was week 1? It was I think it was another like
Tennessee State or something like that, Tech or something like that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But Oklahoma don't have an offense. What's the quarterback? Jackson Arnold or something like that?
Yeah. No, not a traditional Oklahoma.
I thought the point spread was larger, but I still like Tennessee by a touchdown.
I don't even know who Oklahoma's quarterback is. It is.
It's the dude that chased
Arnold.
It's the dude that chased Dylan Gabriel out.
Oh yeah, you're right. He's not bad. Looking at his stats, he's honestly not terrible, bro. Is this Is it? And I might flip my pick to Jackson Arnold and the Sooners. I'm looking at it. He's not terrible. They
should be a good game. It'd be a game that I'll get home from Fox, working the game this week, and it'll be a game that I'll have on while I'm falling asleep on the couch.
No, sneaky game of the week. Hear me out. You're right. This is a good game. Sneaky game of the week because I'm going the game's at noon. The Ohio State game. I'll be at the shoe. You'll be at the shoe. I'll probably get back around 4, 5-ish with some Wendy's and all that good stuff. The sneaky game is Rutgers Virginia Tech at 3:30. That's
What
gonna
about the 5-layer burrito game at 10:30, Kansas State versus BYU, where the
be.
guy said if Kansas State loses to BYU, he's gonna shove a 5-layer burrito up his ass.
What I understand is when people do that, they go viral. But when I say I'm working on a mullet, nothing. I'm still committed to the mullet. Like we're working.
Bro, who was it said Florida State will not win a game until the guy eats shit out of the red Solo cup? They might go in 0-12, man.
The
I'm
only
surprised Billy
throwback-
Napier didn't get fired this week from Florida.
It's gonna happen because they're already working on the buyout. The alumni.
It's so funny that Florida fans on Twitter are saying, how can our boosters come up with $26 million for his buyout, but they can't come up with any NIL money? Come on, this is Bush League.
Do they get Urban? Do they make an offer
No,
to
Urban already shut. He said that ship has sailed. He's
Really?
done, coach. I think it's gonna be Lane Kiffin. I think Lane Kiffin goes to Florida. He will turn Florida back into a powerhouse.
Interesting.
That's just me.
Well,
Or does Lincoln Riley make the jump?
that would be fun. That we need to see. Actually, I would. And he rehires Alex Grinch, DC, and Florida's just putting up 80 a game and losing 81-80.
The fact that Miami, actually, I was looking down there. Miami, they play at South Florida, and they're 16.5-point favorite. Should be a decent game for a half.
Yeah.
And how bad
Florida,
is
that's a sneaky one. They're playing University of South Florida.
at South Florida? Yeah.
That's I haven't done one of all these all year. Keep your eye on that one. I might take South Florida money line, honestly. Just
Bowling Green is at Texas A&M.
Nah.
Dang, how much money is Bowling Green rolling in? I bet AJ goes to that game.
AJ will be there. AJ's in there.
You going to College Station?
Yeah. AJ might make the trip. Who knows? But that's all I got, bro.
Yeah, real quick. I'm going to run down the Big Ten games.
Run them down.
All right, Illinois, Nebraska Friday. Ohio State, Marshall, Charlotte at Indiana, Villanova at Maryland, Kent State at Penn State, USC at Michigan, UCLA at LSU, Rutgers, Virginia Tech, Northwestern versus Washington, Iowa at Minnesota. Sneaky good game. I can't believe we forgot about this one. Michigan State at Boston College.
Oh, that's a great one.
And then Boston College, 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
And the battle of
they're going to give
go
them
to sleep on the CW. Who's watching this game on the CW? Purdue at Oregon State.
That's a sick, gross game. I think out of all those games, the one team that might be legit is Indiana. Indiana is. I bought tickets to the Indiana game. In late.
I got it too.
And every day I'm like, those tickets look better and better. Well, yeah, that's all I got. We have about 30 seconds.
That's all I got. And I tell you what, it's going to be a lot of fun. Get to be up there with Gus and Joel.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to be at the shoe on Saturday. So thank you so much for everyone to listening to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. As always, go Bucks and beat Marshall.
Go Bucks.